Hello everyone, very good evening. Welcome to all aboard. My name is Varsha Dhiman. This particular class, we are going to discuss the agriculture and current affairs from 15th of November. Of so this session is very important for all those aspirants who are preparing for our grade examination this year. There are so many things that happen this week, and they are very important for the exam, right? So we are going to discuss about these events here, right? So the students who are there in the class, please let me know everything is okay to you. So as you all know that this is a theoretical, like we are going to discuss about the news, right, which happened this week, which are related to your agriculture portion. So it is a very important session. Okay, so let's start our today's discussion here. Start talking about it. So before moving ahead, aspirant, this is our application. Okay, so you can install your application and you will get the notes, you will get the PDFs of the classes, and there is a very important batch, that is a rapid revision batch. Okay, so guys, you can be the part of this revision batch, and that's how like we are having limited days available. Like we are nearly having 25 days, and how you can utilize these days. So this revision batch will help you to do the revision of all the important portions before the final day or before exam day. Okay, so let's talk about all these things here. So first news is about, I'm just covering the headline here. So, although we are about to mention it in the like we discussed about the economic survey, na? So when the economic survey reports will be released next year, and when we will be having the union budget, like the specific parameters will be needed. So that time you will get the third estimate and the second estimate of different agriculture crop mentioned there. For now, what is important, like the Ravi crop sowing exceeds 208 lakh hectares. So this is a news of 17 November. So like that, we receive the news on regular basis, like on every weekend or on month. There are some news related to these kind of data. So we can make the chart related to this also. Okay. So last year, when we talk about the area under pulse production was 48.93 lakh hectare. This year, this area is 52.82 lakh hectare. And the reason that we had increased the area, like on an average 4 lakh hectare area is increased under the pulse production, and that is because of, like, we are focusing on Atmanirbharta in pulses production. We have a specific focus on pulses production this time, right? Another important news, and similarly 15.53 lakh hectare cover crops under Sri Anna and coarse cereals. Okay, so basically they are known as nutri cereals, or they are known as the coarse cereals or the small cereals. Like, see, we are working on improving the production techniques for the Sri Anna and coarse cereals. The reason being, one is that they are the good nutritional sources. And another reason is the cropping conditions and the climatic conditions, soil conditions required. Like, you don't need to have some specific soil conditions. Like, they can grow well in the normal or the general soil conditions also. Okay, so that's why we are moving towards growing more Sri Anna and coarse cereals. Another one is oil seeds crop. So we have a specific mission related to National Mission for Oil and Oil Seeds. Okay, so palm oil seeds and palm oil. So under this mission, we had increased the area for the oil seed production also. Okay, so this is one news of 17th November 2020. Now let's talk about the another news. See, we have a very good portion under the seed science mentioned in our exam syllabus as well. Okay, seed science is a very important portion, and seed is a basic planting material. Whenever any farmer wants to grow his crop, the first material, the first thing that he need is a good quality of seed. If the seeds are of the good quality, definitely you can assure that, you can assume that you are about to get the good production. Okay, if you are capable of managing all the different factors, so definitely your production will be improved. Okay, so with this all thoughts in mind, so Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Sri Shivraj Singh Chauhan, he inaugurated Asian Seed Congress 2025 in Mumbai. So this is important, like where the Asian Seed Congress held. So it held in Mumbai. Okay. Now, what are the important points? So, what was the theme of this Congress? Sowing the seeds of prosperity through quality seeds. So what, on which thing we are focusing now? Like we need to supply the good quality seeds to our agriculture field. So we are focusing upon seed replacement rate. So this is a new and trending topic that you should be aware of. Like the farm stored seeds. Like what the farmer do, like what are the small and the marginal farmers do, like they are not having enough money left to buy the good quality of seeds. Okay, like they are not aware about the seed subsidies, so they cannot reach the government to purchase the seeds. What they do, they simply go to the private seed industries to buy the seed, but they are not able to afford it because the seed prices, the good quality seed prices are quite high. So what they simply do, they had stored the seeds from the previous year and they use it for sowing the new crop. Okay, and what will they get in return? Like as the seeds that they had stored in the normal conditions, they might have lost their germination capacity. Okay, and they might have lost the genetic purity, so their production that they are about to get is not so good. Okay, so that's how this time the Asian Seed Congress focused on providing the quality seeds to the farmers and let them aware about the quality seeds so that they can take advantage of all this, and that's how they can improve their productivity. And when their productivity will be improved, obviously their standard of living will be improved. Okay, because a farmer, for the farmer, the main thing whenever any cropping season begin, the main thought that the farmer will have in their mind to obtain the good quality of seeds and from where they could get it at optimal or minimum prices. So government is having some specific schemes related to this also. Okay, now let's talk about all these things in detail. So one thing, what is the main objective of this Congress? One is to see, we are observing that our population is rising and we need to focus upon food security. We need to focus upon nutritional security so that the farming remains a profitable business for farmers. We know that now, for example, you are studying, you're preparing for a competitive examination, you're taking classes, and at the end you are analyzing that you are not getting benefit from the classes, you are not getting all that you are needed. So what will you do? You will start skipping the classes. Similarly, when the farmers who are involved in the farming practices, they are giving their 100% to the farm field, but they are not getting anything in return. What will happen? They are about to move to the another business ideas. So it is a need of the government to maintain such a scenario so that the person who is involved in a specific business, he will not think of moving to the another one, right? Okay, so that's how this congress was started, or that's why this congress was taken place. One region, another objective. Yeah, so if the good quality of the seeds will be provided to the farmers, what will happen? The productivity per hectare will improve. Okay, and reduction cost will reduce because we are providing the seeds to the farmers at subsidized prices. Okay, and obviously when the good productivity will have, the farmers will go to the market with their product and they can fetch the good prices for the commodities that they had raised, and definitely their cost of living will improve, and as well as their life standard of living will change. Okay, so it is to ensure the fair prices for the farmers produce, compensating them when needed, and focusing on the diversification of farm practices. So the main topic that we always talk is crop diversification. This is a time we have to focus upon crop diversification. Okay, so this is also mentioned here, right? Now moving ahead, yeah, ICR have a main role here because ICR is at other state-related institutes which are working in the agriculture sector. They're moving ahead with the biofortified crop varieties. Like we discussed about the biofortified crop varieties in the last session also, right? We talk about the rice of specific type, which is rich in the beta carotenes. Okay, so similarly, ICR is working in this direction so that what we'll get the biofortified crop varieties, and these varieties should be resilient to the climate change, and that's how the serious problem of malnutrition will be overcome in the coming time. Okay, so these were the objectives. Yeah, so If seeds that do not require changing every year are made available to the farmers, a major concern of our farming communities will be, it will definitely help. Now, like you had provided the seed of very good quality to the farmer this year. Okay, and the farmer need not to change the field, change the seed every year, because these seeds are having the immense potential. You can store these seeds and you can use these seeds for a long period of years. Okay, so the farmers will be relieved. Okay, and they will not have to think like from where they can get the basic output. So this congress have a special mention of on this topic, and specific instructions are also given to the private sector seed industries and the government industries, government seed organizations also, so that the problem of poor quality of the seeds will be addressed. Okay, and the seeds which are having very low germination capacity, they will move out of the market scenarios. The farmers will be provided with the good quality of the seeds every. Okay, and it had also a specific mention for Sathi portal. Okay, so this is a portal basically where all the farmers, all the individuals who are in the agriculture sector and who are dealing with the seed production, they should be registered there. Okay, and climate resilient seeds should be developed, because this is a need of the hour. If the seeds that are launched in the market, they will be the climate resilient seeds, so definitely the farmers are about to get benefit from. And as we know, we are having total 15 agroclimatic zones, so it is a need of the time. Like the different agroclimatic zones will need the different crop cycles, so we need to have the good quality seeds of all the different crops. Okay, and we discussed about this particular news article. Yeah, Mr. Samosa, very good evening. Your name is so uh, good. So two varieties of rice. Okay, we had a specific session related to this. Okay, where we mentioned about these two varieties of rice and why the need for the development of these two varieties of rice was developed, because we need to increase the productivity. And with these two varieties, when these two varieties were introduced in the market, what we get, the productivity increased from 19% to 40%. Okay, less water uses and reduce carbon emission. So these are the advantages of these two genome edited varieties of rice, right? So another important point about it. Now, who were the chairperson? So I'm mentioning the details of the chairperson. Okay, so the chairperson during this Asian Seed Congress. So one is Shri N. Prabhakar Rao. Who is he? He is a chairman of National Seed Association of India. He was also present during this Congress, and he mentioned, yeah, it is a very important issue to be discussed. But another one is Ajay Rana. Shri Ajay Rana, who is he? He is a chairman of the Federation of Seed Industry of India. And other than that, Mr. Take Veko, who is he? He is a president of the Asia and Pacific Seed Association. Okay, so they all are the chairperson during the Congress. Okay, so please mention, please learn the names of these individuals also, because you can have the direct question like who is a chairperson of Federation of Soil Industry of Seed Industry of India. So you should know the name of all. Okay. So this is about this particular news. Now let's talk about the another very interesting news. Okay, so we know about Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, farmers are provided with crop insurance. Like if there will be any natural calamities, okay, if there will be any unforeseen event and the farmer had registered their crop, okay, so they will get the crop insurance, okay, and it will help the farmers to like live well for the time period, because his crop has fall and he is not able to earn the good price this year, good productivity this year. So earlier the natural calamities were the only thing that are introduced under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Now there are certain states in our country, okay, there are certain states in our country where we observe that the crops of the farmers are destroyed and devastated by the wildlife, wild animals attack. And because of this reason, the particular farmer who is raising his crop, he will not have anything in his hand and he have to survive with the little that he will earn, because of the other means. Okay, this another is there are certain areas which are under the lowland areas. Okay, and the farmers who are indulged in paddy cultivation practices there. So what happened due to the rainfalls, due to the flood conditions, their crops will lodge completely or they will submerged underwater. So the farmers who are having this paddy farming, they are not able to earn anything because they are not able to obtain the crop production from there. So in that case, the farmers will have nothing or very little in their hand, and on this he have to depend for the year long. So now a specific step is taken by the Union Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So this wild animal attack and paddy inundations, they are also included under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Like the farmers can also insure their crop if they feel that their crop is repeatedly attacked by the animals, or the possibilities of flood, possibilities of heavy rainfalls in their areas are quite high, so they can insure their crop, and so that they can ask for the insurance later. Okay, like they can another thing is, whenever the farmer who is like about to claim the specific bima or the insurance for the crop, he have to submit the reports immediately as soon as a specific event will happen. Okay, he have to upload the photographs. So on the basis of all these informations, uh, bima will be provided to the farmer. Okay, so this is very new and important news article. Like, is it a good thing? Yes, it is a good thing. Yeah, because everywhere we cannot blame the natural calamities for the failure of the crop. Somewhere there are other reasons also, other possibilities also. Wild animals will attack the crops of these farmers living in the hilly terrains and the areas where the human man interaction is so frequent. The farmers are always in a state of, in a very chaotic state, like they are about to get the yield this year or not. So on which particular thing they will depend now. So this including inclusion of these two modalities for covering crop loss is a very good decision. What you feel over this? Is it a good decision or not? Yeah, the students who are taking the class, you have to mention yes or no in the comment box. Is it a good take by the Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare or not? No viewpoint? No tark vitark. Chalo, moving ahead. So under this revised framework, yeah, very good, Aju. Yes, it is a good decision actually. Okay, so under the revised framework, crop loss due to the wild animal attack, it will also be recognized as a sixth add-on cover under the localized risk category. Yes, very good, Mr. Black Hawk, Devanshi, and Mr. Samosa. Yeah, chalo. So yeah, it is a good take. So the states where the animal attack is more likely to be held. So the name of the states are also mentioned here. Where I had mentioned the name. Okay, on the next slide I had mentioned it. Okay. So what the farmers have to do, as soon as the specific incidents is happened, they have to uh, upload the geotagged photos within 72 hours. Okay, and this decision respond to long standing requests from several states and is aimed at strengthening protection for farmers against sudden, localized and severe crop damage. Okay, so as per the operational guidelines of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, they will get the insurance for their crops. Okay, and this particular thing will start from, okay, this particular new rule will start from Kharif season 2026. Okay, so this is also right from the Kharif season 2026. These two regions will also be included for Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, now moving ahead, let's talk about the another thing, because the farmers are suffering from this, and the majorly these wild animals are attacking the crops like elephants, wild boars, nilgai, deer and monkeys. Okay, they do a lot of damage to the agriculture crop, and these incidents are majorly happen when the residential areas are near the forest areas. Your agricultural land is very adjacent to the forest areas, around the wildlife corridors and the hilly terrains. Okay, and the states the farmers of these states are like largely affected because of this wildlife attacks, like Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, Himalayan and the northeastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Sikkim, Himachal Pradesh. Okay, so the chances or the incidence of wildlife depredations are very frequent and widespread in these areas. Okay, now let's talk about the paddy farmers. Okay, the farmers whose main source of income is paddy farming during the Kharif season. Okay, so when they are doing this in the flood prone areas and the coastal areas, the chances that because of the heavy rainfalls and overflowing waterways, what will happen? Their complete crop will lodge or it will submerged underwater. Okay, so in that case, what the farmers will do? Earlier, this was under the localized climate calamity category. In 2018, it was removed from there due to concern about moral hazards and the difficulty of accessing submerged crop, because we are not having the good technology in 2018 to access the submerged crops, and we are having the moral hazards also discussed. Okay, so because of all these reasons, this localized calamity category, from the localized calamity category, this paddy inundation was removed. But now when it was like most of the farmers were started complaining about it again and again, and it was observed that the farmers are suffering from these issues again. So again, this paddy inundation is reintroduced as a localized calamity cover under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, and it will give the benefits to the farmers who are living in the states like Odisha, Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, where paddy submerge is a recurring challenge. Okay, so please know the names of the states. Okay, now another important news. So let's talk about it also. Like recently, what happened as per the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, under which the farmers are provided with the annual assistance of 6,000 rupees. Okay, in three installments. So 21st installment is released for PM Kisan from Coimbatore. Okay, so you just need to know about it. Okay, I'm just mentioning it. Now, expansion of Krishak Unnati Yojana to cover pulses, oil seeds, and the maize. Okay, as per the chief minister of the specific state. So it was also mentioned there. Right. Now, moving on the next important news article. So I am covering the fisheries sector related news in more depth here, aspirants, because on 21st of November, that is on today, we celebrated World Fishery Day. So the developments in the fishery sector, the marine fishery census, okay, that recently conducted in the month of October till the mid of November 2025. Okay, we'll discuss about this in depth. We'll talk about the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, Samriddhi Yojana. So please have the complete notes of all these things, okay, because these topics are very important. Okay, because the main sector our government is focusing on, okay, is fishery sector. Okay, so currently our main thing that our government is focusing upon is a fishery sector, like how we can develop it, how we can take the maximum benefit. Okay, so where this particular event was organized at Sushma Swaraj Bhavan in New Delhi. Okay, and what is the theme of this year World Fishery Day? It is India's Blue Transformation, strengthening value addition in seafood exports. Okay, now, so what are our highlights, like what our nation is about to do on this day and what we are focusing upon in the fishery sector? Like we are working hard to elevate our marine and freshwater aquatic products. Okay, we are working hard to develop them into high value, globally competitive products. Okay, and we are working towards deepening our global partnership in the blue economy. I told you about the blue economy in yesterday's session as well. Okay, and on the same day, Department of Fisheries under, so Department of Fishery under comes under which ministry? Is there anyone who can tell me? Yeah, Department of Fishery will come under which ministry? Please mention. I know, but I want you two guys to give the answer for the question. Yeah, aspirants, you have to cooperate now. You have to tell Department of Fishery is under which ministry. No idea? Okay, let me mention. It comes under Ministry of Mr. Samosa. Every time I am reading the name Mr. Samosa, my mouth is watering. How could you guys have these kind of names mentioned in your profiles or username of what? Huh? Ministry of Fishery, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Chalo. Okay. So this department on the same day it will release a national framework on traceability in fisheries and aquaculture. What is the main aim of this specific framework? To establish a centralized digital traceability system for fisheries and aquaculture so that we can ensure the compliance with domestic and international regulations, promote the food safety, enhance the sustainability, and improve the market space. See, देखो, this is not the first time that we are focusing upon the fishery sector, and this is not the new thing to talk about. Like from the ages, our like Indian population that is residing near the coastal lines, they are doing the fishery practices and they are earning their livelihood from. Now, why we are focusing upon it? Because we observe that our exclusive economic zone, our Andaman and Nicobar Island, our Lakshadweep Island have an immense potential. And if like we can also encroach the specific areas like the other nations are doing, like they are doing the fishing practices in the Indian Oceanic region, but we had decided to enter in the specific area with all the frameworks, with all the regulations, with all the compliances, so that we will have all the rule books, all the guidelines, okay, so that anyone who is doing all these practices illegally in the Indian Ocean region, in the specific exclusive economic zone of our country, we can take specific actions against them. Okay, so why we are like talking about the compliances, laws, rules, guidelines, we are trying to make our system strong. Okay, like if anyone well, like we will came to know about anyone who is doing the illegal practices in this specific sector, we are having a good rule book and we will take a specific strict actions against them. Okay, so by doing all these things, by forming this traceability system, by having these databases, by developing our digital platform, okay, by strengthening our work in this specific sector, we are making ourselves, we are making the foundation strong. Okay, so that we will have all the things written in our rule books and we are able to take any strict action against anyone whenever needed. Okay, because when we observe any new problem, we have to firstly we have to do the research over it, and then we will go forward. Like what type of measures we can take. Like now we are preparing our foundation strong so that we can enter in this fishery sector and we'll start taking all the advantages from our fishery sector in future. Okay, so this is very important. Yeah. Okay, Sharma here. Yeah, very good evening. Hmm. Like most of the students are with unique name in my today's class, huh? That is really a good thing to know. Like I was having a lot of headache today, but after seeing your names, I'm feeling very happy. Chalo, let's move to the topic. Let's focus on the topic without being any distraction, without having any distractions. Okay. So let's move ahead. So when these things will happen, let's talk about it. So this is our India's blue transformation, strengthening value addition in seafood export, and there it is. This thing is going to held on 21st of November. We are preparing for it. Okay, this is a news of 19th of November. Okay, I am mentioning it here like we are doing the preparation for this particular event, right? So this is important. We have the several key interventions which about which we had already discussed in our last class. They are the we have the special operating procedures for mariculture. We know about mariculture, right? Guidelines for smart and integrated harbors, guidelines for fish landing centers, guidelines for reservoirs, fisheries management, and a compendium of coastal aquaculture guidelines. Okay, so and during this specific event, when the World Fishery Day will be celebrated on 21st of November, there will be two technical sessions conducted by the expertise. Okay, one session will have the informations delivered related to and how we can enhance the growth through value addition in fishery and aquaculture. And in the another important event, we'll talk about how we can harness the export potential of Indian inland states or UTs with focus on freshwater fish species. So these were the two important sessions, and these sessions will have all the mentions like what are the important advantages, what type of specific measures we can take so that we can take the maximum advantages or the we can harness the maximum potential from our fishery sector or the marine sector. Okay, chalo. Moving ahead, yeah. Moving ahead, let's talk about the another important point, and that is about, yeah, so this is our next news article. Okay, I'm discussing the next news article. I'm going to discuss about the fishery sector again. Okay, so this is about the briefing like what we are about to do, and let's talk about the next important news article. So this is a news of 20th of November 2025. So what are the important things you need to uh, like mention all the data in your notebook, because the data we are going to discuss now is quite important. Okay, so let's talk about it. So record food grain output breaks all previous highs. Okay, so this year the food production is quite high. So when we observe that whatever the measures we are taking for the development of our agriculture sector, and they have started giving us good results, so it is like a um, good thing that we are getting the appreciation for that now. So so our Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan, he released in New Delhi the final estimates of crop production for 2024-25. So this data is very important. Okay, please make the notes of this data. And with this, he also expresses gratitude to the nation's farmer, like they had achieved the record high food grain outputs. Okay, and this is also observed that this year the pulses and the oilseed production has also observed a good rise in their values. Okay, and this time we had observed highest increase in food grain production in the last 10 years. This point is also very important. Another is, so in the year 2015-16 the food grain production was 251.54 million tons. Okay, and this year it is 357.73 million tons. Please make the notes of this data in your notebook. Okay, other important points. Yeah, rice production has also shown a very good rise. Like we had observed a record level of 1,501.84 lakh tons. Okay, and if we look at the previous year data, so it is nearly 123.59 lakh ton higher than the last year's data, right? Another important thing, similarly in, so this data is important. So this year if we look at the wheat growth, so that has risen to 1 lakh, sorry, 1179.47 lakh tons. Similarly for the moong productions, soybean productions, groundnut, maize and Shri Anna, they also show a very good rise. Okay, now this is another table. You can take a screenshot of this table. I'm showing you now. Okay, so these are the values for the rapeseed and the mustards. So this is all about all the agriculture commodities. It's not only about the Rabi crops or the Kharif crops. It's about all the important agriculture commodities for which we measure the productions, right? No issues, no issues, Pookie Sharma. Chalo. So this is about their data, and this is a table you have to go through. Okay, I'm mentioning everything in detail here. So you can see here the total food grain production on record is, so this is our latest data. Okay, so total food grain production is 3,577.32 lakh tons. For the rice, it is 1,501.84 lakh tons. For the wheat, it is 1,179.49 lakh tons. And for the jute and mesta, it is 88.02 lakh bales. For cotton, it is 297.24 lakh bales. Okay, so please learn this data. I mean, learn, you don't need to do the ratification, mention this data in your notebook. When you will have any question related to this data, you will be able like search from the data, and that's how you can learn it. Like you can memorize it easily. Okay. So this is about it. So on 19th of November, what we celebrate? So one is okay. On 19th of November, we have the International Men's Day, and we also recognize 19th of November as a World Toilet Day. Okay, so on this specific day, a mission, a specific campaign was launched by Ministry of Jal Shakti, and the name of campaign is Hamara Shauchalay, Hamara Bhavishya. Okay, why there is a need arises to have a campaign on sanitation, on this specific because we know that all the disease, all the microbial contamination, they start from the defecations mostly. Okay, so that's why there is a need that every household should have a good hygienic condition, washrooms available, toilets available. Okay, if the washrooms will be clean, so definitely the household will not suffer from any such microbial contaminations and any such disease. Okay, so department, so the particular department which take this initiative is Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, and that is on World Toilet Day. Okay, and that is to reiterates the importance of toilets, and there's a need to have proper maintenance of uh, provide safe sanitation to communities today and to prepare for a cleaner and healthier future. It emphasizes on functionality assessments, repair, and aesthetic upliftment of rural toilets for both community sanitary complexes and individual household latrines. Okay, so why we focused upon this, and this campaign is also aligned with the objectives of Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Okay, now what are the objectives of this campaign? Like there's a need to have the enhanced functionality of these two. Okay, and it will also access the like open defecation free system, existing O&M systems for community toilets, promote and encourage communities like they should uplift, aesthetically uplift the washrooms and other such facilities. There should be awareness generations in the communities, especially in the schools, like why there is a need to have the good washrooms in a very good conditions. Okay, how we can have the safe sanitation practices and all. Okay, Jan Bhagidari to reinforce collective responsibility for Sampurna Swachhta. Like we are focusing on like public involvement and the people involvement in this practice. Okay, yeah. Next is this is all about it, and like since the launch of Swachh Bharat Mission in the year 2014. From that time onwards, we are working hard. We are working towards making our nation open, defecation free, and like toilets were constructed, right? And specifically in the rural areas, okay, the peoples were trained related to the specific practices. Okay, the specific awareness drives were started, and one such awareness drive is this Hamara Shochalay, Hamara Bhavishya. Okay, what I want to tell you about this. So this campaign will culminate on Human Rights Day. So Human Rights Day is on 10th of December 2025. Okay, so this is all about it. Right. Moving ahead on the next important news article. Is there any doubt till this point? Please let me know. Yeah. Is there any important points that you want to know about this? Yes, her National Integration Day is also on 19th of December, 19th of November that to address harmony and integration or integrity specifically. Yeah. So on 19th of November, we observe the International Men's Day, National Integration Day, and the World Toilet. Okay, so you can mention all these things in your note, right? Now moving ahead on the next news article. So recently we know that what is going on, the Conference of Party 30 is going on. Where it is going on? So it is going on at Belém, Brazil. So although there are so many things that are happening, there the different nations are coming with a lot of things we discussed about, like in the next meeting we discussed about the goals that they had achieved, that were mentioned in the Conference of Parties that was held in 2015, that is known as the Paris Agreement. And as this year, this the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is again held at Brazil. So it is also remembering the measures related to Earth that was taken in the year 1992, and that time it was known as the Earth Summit. Okay, so all these things we had already discussed in one of the session. Okay, so now I'm just mentioning about the key important points. So one is the tropical forest forever facility. Okay, so this is one of the biggest announcement. Okay, Brazil launched this, right? And it is a performance based fund, and the main aim of having this tropical forest forever facility is to protect tropical forest. So this is for the first time we are taking any specific step to conserve the Amazonia biome or the Amazon forest areas or the tropical forest areas. Okay. So target, what is the target of this facility? Mobilize US dollar 4 billion annually for forest conservation with at least 20% of funds earmarked for indigenous peoples and the local community. So this is one important highlight. Another is, so this year when this conference of parties held, our main focus is on implementation, not just ambition. Like we are not here to encourage you. We are here like whatever we'll say, we want the implementation of it. This is a very good point. I personally like this point. Okay, this is about your studies now, like having all the notes collected, having big motivational quotes in your room and not implementing anything will not lead you anywhere. Now you have to implement the things now, whatever the things you are saying. So this year we had a focus on this. Okay, like this presidency strongly emphasized implementation. Okay, pledging the new targets and doing nothing will not lead you anywhere, right? Brazil frames it as a global mutiro, that is a collective mobilization across government, civil society, business, and local communities to turn the climate goals into the concrete actions, right? Another important highlight is global finance roadmap, that is Baku to Belem roadmap. So what is this roadmap is about? So there is a roadmap to scale up climate finance. So this includes mobilizing money. So now the money you need, like you need the fund now, whatever the project you are talking about, you need a fund for all this. Okay. So in mobilizing money to help so that the develop, you need to help the developed countries adapt and mitigate innovative finance mechanism. So this conference of party is pushing solidarity levies, like the sectors like aviation, shipping, financial transactions. Okay, we need to advise a solidarity levies on them so that we will have more fair and predictable climate finance. Like we need fund na? If I am about to start any specific activity in my locality, I will need fund for the activity. And from where I'll get the fund, I need to organize a specific campaign related to. Okay, so similarly, when we are talking about like the developing countries, they need to take them specific action. So how we will be capable of funding them? So we have to, there's a mention of solidarity levies. Okay, so these sectors, on these sectors as solidarity levies will be imposed, and that is to generate one more fair and predictable climate finances, which we can use to work upon specific projects. Okay, taxonomy interoperability. There was a principle for taxonomy interoperability. Like work is underway to align sustainable finance definitions globally so that it will be easier to direct capital towards climate action. Another event is, another highlight is health and climate adaptation. Okay, so the Pelham Health Action Plan is adopted to build climate resilient health systems. Okay, and this plan has been endorsed by many countries. Find this plan is having a good potential. Okay, and backed by substantial funding of US $300 billion initial support from philanthropic sources. Okay, and we are focusing on integrating health, safety, justice, and equity in adaptation, recognizing the climate change is not just an environmental issue, but it is a social one. Okay, if the climate change will occur, it will not impact only the climate of the area or the environment of the area. It will impact the social life also. The people who are living in the specific area, their life will also get affected. If like if we are living in Delhi, we know the air quality of Delhi. If we are facing the issues, like we are having the health issues, respiratory issues. So definitely these things will worsen if we'll not take care of the specific measures which we can see around us. Okay, food security and social protection. So on 7th of November, when this thing was about to begin, 44 countries endorsed the Belém Declaration on Hunger, Poverty, and Human-Centered Climate Actions. And this declaration commits to climate responsive social protection systems, resilient food production, and there's a need to empower the small farmers. Okay, so because when the, you know, one thing, you guys might be aware about one thing, like whenever any such natural disaster or any such event happen, any unpredictable thing happen, the people who are in power, like who are the rich, who are above poverty line, they are the least who will suffer. Okay, the main individuals or the main population that is about to suffer because of any such event is the people who are not having enough resources to protect them from these kind of situations and who are not empowered. Okay, so during this conference of parties, we focused upon like how we can empower the small farmers, local communities. So when any such climate risk, okay, when they start observing the negative impact of all this global warming or changes, they will be capable of dealing with it because they will be having the enough resources. Okay, so this time this declaration has also mentioned this. Okay, and it is a very important and a very good point, like they, this declaration or this year the conference of parties have all the very good decision, like they talk about the implementation, like doing the promises and not focusing on anything is not a good thing, like having the good book of 300 pages and not focusing only one page, even not even a one page will not lead you anywhere. So you have to talk about everything which you can do. So this is a very important point. Okay, launch of AI tools for agriculture, like an open source AI model for farmers to forecast climate risk and adapt better, right? Now, there's digital and technological innovations were also mentioned there. So, Green Digital Action Hub was launched, right? That is to scale up the green technology. AI Climate Institute. This is also a global initiative to help countries. They can use the AI for climate solutions in an equitable manner. Okay, justice, inclusion, and indigenous people. Okay, so indigenous people are deeply involved. Like I am working upon a specific project. I'm preparing the notes of a specific project that I want to implement in any specific area of Andhra Pradesh, and I'm not involving the people of Andhra Pradesh of that specific area in my report. I'm not asking for their feedbacks. I'm not asking for the suggestion. Okay. And I'm just writing the paperwork, okay, with all the internet resources I'm available with. Okay. I'm not able to get the exact sense of the. Okay. So I need to include the individuals who are present there. Okay. So during this time, it was specifically mentioned there's a need to have the deep involvement of indigenous people, the concept of globally determined contribution. So last time in 2015 we had mentioned about intended determined contribution. This time a new concept emerged out, and that is globally determined contribution. The parties who are the part of this conference, they have to do the globally determined contribution whatever they want, right? Land tenure commitment. So some coverage suggests a commitment to strengthen land rights for indigenous and traditional communities, covering the large areas by 2030. Okay, another mention. Another important mention this year that were done here, they are, so let's talk about them. Just give me a minute. Fossil fuel phase out push. Okay, like every time, whenever all these kind of conferences held, we specifically mention now we need to move towards a non-conventional sources of energy. We need to push out or phase out the fossil fuels. So this time, during this conference, they strongly emphasize upon like there's a need arises to phase out the fossil fuel use as soon as possible. Okay. Um, and this built on earlier pledges like Conference of Parties 28, but the big fight is over how to do it in a way that is just and fair. Okay, some opposition like there are certain countries who are like majorly dependent on fossil fuels as a major energy source. They are pushing back, okay, and that is a negotiation flashpoint. Okay, so this is also important. Equity and ethical climate finance. Okay, this was also introduced. So this is pushing for just a transition, making sure that climate finance is ethical, not just about returns, but about finance. Okay, it happens with us also now. Like sometimes we went some places and we are contributing there. Okay, there is a lot of difference between contribution and investment. Okay, we contribute our money in any foundation with, like, we are not having a thought of return from there, but whenever we invest our money at some places, we always think about the return. So it is mentioned like when any country is contributing towards a climate finance, so they should not think about that they are about to get return. Okay, they should think about the fairness, because we had done all these things, so that's why the situation has occurred. Now we have to do some specific measures now. So if we every time is not about money, it's sometimes we have to think thoda sa hatke or different. Okay, so it was also a very interesting point to be mentioned here. Emphasize on loss and damage finance, especially for vulnerable countries. Okay, so the countries, you let me tell you a very important point, or let me ask you a very important question. Sometimes the people who are not even aware about a specific situation, they are the one who are more vulnerable. Have you heard about this situation? Or how many of you are agree with this? Although they are not aware about a specific situation, but they are the one who are more vulnerable and who are about to face a lot of negative consequences because of a specific incidents. Yes or no? How many of you are uh, agree with me on this statement? Please mention yes or no in the comment box. Do you agree or not? You agree. So Aju is uh, agreed with my statement, and there, how many of you are agreed with me on this statement? They are not even aware about the specific thing, but they are the one who are the most vulnerable. They have to suffer a lot. Okay. So this climate, this time the conference is talking about all these things, right? Chalo. Next point that we have to symbolizing of hosting in Amazon. Yeah, because this time we are focusing upon TTTF. Okay, so this is also mentioned, puts forest and biodiversity at the center of the climate debate. Reinforces Brazil's role or claim as a leader on tropical forest conservation and climate justice. Governance or multilateralism push. We need to take the responsibility of our actions now. So if every time whatever the things we are doing, we keep on passing on others like they are the reason. Sometimes it happen like you observe someone had throw the garbage in front of your house and you are just blaming others, and you will also do the same thing in front of their house. What will happen, like you are doing the tit for tat, it will not work for long. Now you have to come ahead to let them know why they are doing so, and let you know like this is not a solution for the problem. Okay, so the time has come, like you need to take the responsibility for the action that you had done once, right? Fire incident also happened at the event. This is also a news, although it's not a good news. So what happened, where the summit was going on, the fire broke out, leading to evacuation of the parts of the conference. Disruption raised concerns about safety, but also become a symbolic moment. Climate talks themselves being disrupted by fire. Okay, so you can use this information if there will be any descriptive question related to the climate change. You can use this data to mention about. moral framings by UN Secretary General. So, called failing to keep to 1.5 degrees Celsius a moral failure and deadly negligence. Like we are not able to maintain the global Earth temperature. Like how we are not able to manage this level by 1.5 degrees Celsius. So this is a moral failure. Like all these are failed here, and it's a deadly negligence. Okay, because we are not asking for any big gap. We are just asking for like 1.5 degrees Celsius, and we are not able to do so. So it is a sub, like the countries who are there as a participant, they all are like what we are doing here. So it's emphasized climate justice, the right of the most vulnerable, and the urgency of real, not just symbolic action. We want implementation of everything. Okay, chalo. So these are why these things matter. So these are certain points you can take. You can read all these points by yourself. Okay, everything is mentioned. Why we are discussing about all these highlights, because we need to implement whatever we are saying from the centuries. Okay, a forest as climate currency, justice and inclusion, innovation, innovative finance, health and adaptation, tech and innovation. So all these are the things that are important. Now we have the fishery sector news. Okay, so I'm mentioning the news. Although I'm providing you all the notes related to this, you can read all the notes by yourself also. The data I'll provide. Okay, this particular news article is very very important. You can connect with me on my Telegram. There also you will get the notes of this specific lecture, which is very very important. So let's talk about the key takeaways. Okay, so this is not for the first time that we are celebrating the World Fishery Day. Okay, and this year, but uh, we have some intentions to mention this. Okay, and you can know the intentions also, because I had mentioned it so many times, because now we know that we are having a very good potential in this specific sector and we have to work towards it. We have to take some specific measures, okay, because we want to be in the global competition, global competitive market. We want our sea products to be in the global market at a good position, okay. So we are the second largest fish producing country and one of the largest shrimp producers in the world. And if we look at our fish production, so like if we look at the 2013-14 data, it was 96 lakh tons, and now we are having 195 lakh tons, like nearly more than double. Huh. Yes, it is Varsha Dhiman. You can connect with me. Like this is my Varsha Telegram handle, Varsha Dhiman. You can connect with. Okay, and GST on like one more important, like I had covered the new GST rates. Okay, so you can see that. So earlier, most of the fish products was under the 12% slab. Now they had also reduced to 5% slab. Very important thing I want to tell, like most of the agriculture commodities, most of the agriculture products and the fish products, horticulture, other everything they had now either in 0% or in the 5% tax slab. So this is like they are omit out from the tax slab, or they are at the 5%. Okay, this is a very important, right? Another thing, marine product export increased by 11.08% from US dollar 0.81 billion in October 2024 to US dollar 0.90 billion in October 2025. Okay, so we had observed a very good rise here, right? Another important thing, let's talk about. So when this day was originated for the first time, so in 1997, we observed that 18 countries found that like there's a need to have a specific day, okay, which is dedicated to the fishery, so fisheries specifically. And keeping in mind this thought, a World Fisheries Forum was established in New Delhi, and this forum have a main aim to promote responsible fishing practices and safeguarding the interest of fishing communities. Responsible fishing practices, like not by illegal mean or illegit, not promote. Okay? So this sector sustain, like the people who are living near the coastal lines, they have to they the main source of income is the fishery practices for them. Na? So it is providing the livelihood to over 60 million people. Okay, and is a key driver of India's blue economy. Okay, and if we look at, like we are having around 347, 3,477 coastal fishing villages, And these villages produce 72% of the country's total fish production and account for 76% of India's total seafood exports. Okay, and this is also an important mention. Like this year, we had a GST reform, na, and that approved by the GST Council in the 56th meeting. Like we had a new GST rules which were implemented from 21st of September, right? And there also the fish sector was mentioned, like most of the fish commodities which were earlier in the 12% tax slab, now they are reduced to 5% tax slab. So this is also a very good point to mention here. Now they are in the affordable range. Okay, now they are under the affordable range, like most of the domestic people who earlier was not able to afford all these seafood products, now they can easily afford, right? So we had discussed about this progress. Okay, another important points to mention, we discussed about it, like we are the second largest producer and we are contributing nearly 8% of the world's fish output. Okay, and this is an improvement we had observed in our fish production sector, right? And seafood hex, now if you look at the seafood that we are exporting to other countries, that is nearly 62,408 crore in 2024-25. Okay, that shows our this sector is developing. Okay, and we are now developing to the global competitive level, right? So rest of the thing I'm providing to you aspirant. Okay, you can go through all the things, right? And that's how you can do the revision of this portion. Okay, so here I'm ending our class for now. We'll meet in the next class. Like on every Friday, I'm having your current affairs session. But I am taking classes on every day at 6 p.m. And this time, as your exam is approaching, I am taking classes on Saturday and Sunday as well at 6 p.m. Okay, so make sure you guys will attend the classes on Saturday and Sunday as well, right? And you can connect with me on my Telegram, Varsha Dhiman. One thing, another thing, if the students you had not enrolled in the rapid revision batch, be the part of it. Like you are about to get a lot of good, we are working very hard for you. So we are providing you all the genuine and the authentic data there. Okay, so that you will feel like that these are the things which are about to us in the exam. So I'm ending the class for now, right? Bye bye and have a nice day. Take care.